Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker. Is this one even going to be close? We'll see what Dean thinks. What is up, everyone? Welcome to One on One. I've got Dean Thomas with me, as always, and we're going to break down the UFC 298 co-main event between Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker. And yes, I am wearing my Chiefs jersey. I'm just going to stretch here. Stretch it out. Listen,
Uh,
it's the last time I'm going to get to do this year. We're not, I mean, the next video we do, it'll be old news. So just let me live in the moment, Dean.
it might be the last time you do it ever.
You're
I
like all of
hope.
a sudden very busy on Monday nights.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, Kansas City's never going to win another championship in
And
no sport.
the thing
In
we've
no
been, I mean,
sport.
people have been throwing the D word around. I don't know if you know that or not, but
Dean?
dynasty,
Oh.
the D word. All
Yeah.
right, enough,
I'm not even going to go there.
enough. UFC 298 is right around the corner and a very interesting co-main event between Robert Whittaker, former middleweight champion, of course, and Paulo Costa, uh, former middleweight championship challenger, has not tasted gold in this division. And I don't even know where to start on this one. It's a matchup, quite honestly, I'm surprised we haven't seen before because both of these guys have been floating around the top of this division for a very long time. Of course, you have Robert Whittaker, one of the most technical, highest thought of guys in this division, as I just said, been floating around the top five for a very long time, former champion, coming off of a very surprising knockout loss to Dricus Du Plessis last July. And then on the other hand, you've got Paulo Costa. I was like, when is the last time this guy has fought? It was all the way back in August of 22 against Luke Rockhold. How has it been so long already, Dean?
Listen, Laura, I got to be honest with you here, and I'm going to tell you the truth.
Are we
Every
in a
night,
time machine?
no, every night I go to bed, before I go to bed, I pray to my deity. I pray for three things: world peace,
Beautiful.
$40 million,
Not likely.
and for Paulo Costa to not pull out of this fight. That's what I pray for. I just don't
Okay.
want him to pull out of this fight. And so far,
None of those things.
yeah, so far none of them's happened. So like, yeah, I think that this fight, I like the fact that they're making this match. Um, just to be honest with you, I'm not sold on Paulo Costa as a fighter.
I'm not anymore either. It's it's such a fascinating case because you look at the guy and he needs to be good, right?
Right? Yes, he's got everything else.
He
He's got the
needs to,
face, the body,
yes,
he's
like
funny, he's charismatic,
all of it, all of it. And
total
I
package.
I feel like there are glimpses of his skill set in fights, but the general arc, as I feel like he underperforms. Now, that's not to take away. I'm not meaning to, denigrate him at all. Tremendous fights with Yoel Romero. That was a fantastic fight. But that was all the way back in 2019. The
But you know
Marvin
what else?
Vettori fight where he missed weight by a gazillion, like 67 pounds overweight or something crazy.
But you know what else when you think about this? Like we remember him from that Yoel Romero fight. But think about the way Yoel Romero fights. He doesn't really fight to the third round.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He plays around and then has moments of where he fights. So it kind of worked in Paulo Costa's favor to get a guy in there who wasn't really fighting you back. So
Yeah.
there's just something about him that
Is that the
I
fight where he kissed him or it
I
looked
think
like he
so.
kissed him?
I think so. But I know, but a moment, I actually watched that fight. It was in LA, and I was actually sitting next to Shaquille O'Neal watching that fight.
Really?
Yes. And I remember when the moment when Paulo Costa saluted Yoel Romero. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He's
Yeah.
like, he stopped in front of him and saluted him. I thought that was the coolest move ever. But I used to be sold on him. I used to think he was great. And I thought he was going to be champ because he had all those things that looks like he should be champ.
So
But
scary.
then after he lost to Izzy, it just went downhill. And he still won some fights after that. But I just was like, I don't know if this is the guy.
It he just hasn't fought frequently enough, I feel like, to advance his game, right?
Right.
He we just did a video, talking about the main event, and one of the things I go on and on about the greatness of Alexander Volkanovski is that even in this stage of his game, he is continuing to find ways to evolve. And that is amazing to me that the consensus greatest featherweight fighter of all time continues to find ways to add to his game and add to his greatness in the context of a fight. And I kind of feel the opposite about Paulo Costa in some ways, in that when I see him fight, I'm like, I feel like you were slightly better than that last time. Last time I saw you really try to do X, Y, or Z. And it's not that I feel like he is capable of it, but there's just never been a momentum that has been able to be gathered in his career where he could really put his skill sets and hone it and refine it and make the tweaks necessary to make it a little bit more sophisticated, I guess. And that's what is I think, going to be a hard time against Robert Whittaker.
Well, he's not professional.
Layers, yeah.
He doesn't have that professional quality about him where it's like, okay, he shows up to practice every day. He does what he says he's going to do. He's that guy who's reliable. He doesn't have that about him. So when you don't have that about you, it's very hard to get better in this game. Like you're typically talented in the beginning and have some tools that may not have been exposed yet, but that's about it, because it doesn't seem to progress as his career progresses. And that's why I'm thinking, because even on the ground, I see him on the ground and everybody talks, oh, well, he's a black, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, man, this guy stinks. Like, to me, he doesn't look great on the ground. You know who looks good on the ground? Robert Whittaker. When Robert Whittaker takes you down, he looks pretty good on the ground.
Yeah.
So, but Paulo Costa to me, does not look that good on the ground. I think his skill set still lies, his dangerous skill set still lies in his boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And but he just, and to me, he doesn't even have knockout power. One punch knockout power.
Yeah.
He put him on you.
It was surprising that the way the Rockhold fight went, that there wasn't a finish. As tired as Luke was.
That to me was despicable. It was fun. It
That's
was
a whole
fun.
nother D word.
Yeah. It was fun, but it was despicable. I remember watching that thinking, I can't believe these are top 10 middleweights. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I mean, it was embarrassing.
It
It
didn't
was
help
an,
that
it
they
was,
stuck him in altitude either.
yeah, you know what? But still, it's your job. This is your job.
Yeah.
Show up prepared. This is your job, because this is all you do all day long. They go, all right, you're going to fight another human being in 3 months. Your job is to show up prepared. You have 3 months. Figure it out. Show up prepared. 3 months to fight for 15 minutes. Show up prepared. And that's what we got. There's no excuse for me.
Well, okay, so here's my question. If other fighters like Volkanovski that we talked about this other video can have these moments where they say, never again, I don't ever want that to happen to me again, and we have the belief that he will come back and be better for it, why do we not have that feeling about Paulo Costa?
Because he's never given us a reason to trust him. Never. He's only given us reasons to not trust him by pulling out of fights. By, I ain't gonna lie, his Instagram, his social media presence is funny. So and it's very, his humor is very good. He's got a
Yeah.
very good sense of humor. But you sometimes I can't draw the line between when he's making a joke or when he's serious.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's serious or making a joke half the time. So I can't trust him. I can't trust him. I can trust Volkanovski. I can trust Ilia Topuria. There's certain fighters that you can trust.
And Robert Whittaker.
I can trust Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker, well, he'll tell you like it is. Look, I'm prepared or I wasn't prepared. I got my butt kicked or I didn't. Paulo Costa, he'll lose a fight and then start making excuses. You can't trust him.
I mean, is there a chance that Paulo Costa can go out there and do something similar to what Dricus Du Plessis did and just be big and be a bull? And
Always a chance that can happen, because this is MMA. In MMA, the number one job in MMA is to make me wrong, to make Dean Thomas wrong. Because they're like, Dean Thomas say something, then the exact opposite is going to happen. But outside of that, um, it's a small chance that that could happen. That he's
Hmm.
just a little bit better. It's just, but I think that has to do with Robert Whittaker. I think that has to be a Robert Whittaker that is a bit shell shocked from the Dricus fight, that may not have trained properly or may did something different or he just doesn't show up. He could get tossed around.
Hmm.
But if he shows up prepared like he has in other fights, I think this is an easy one for him.
Yeah, too much of a technician. Well, how do you see this fight playing out? What's your
I
most
think
likely scenario?
I think Robert Whittaker is too quick. If you remember the Robert Whittaker Kelvin Gastelum fight where he was just piecing him up,
Yeah,
just too quick on the outside, his little oblique kicks and his
his little
takedowns.
sidekicks. Yeah,
Yeah. I think if he uses his movement in the side kicks and takedowns, I think he embarrasses Paulo Costa. Don't look at me like that.
I was just letting the moment breathe.
You know, you was looking at me like I owed you money. No, you're looking at me like I can't wait till MMA universe proves you wrong again.
I'm not here to make an official prediction, but I might as well. No, I definitely have Robert Whittaker in this fight. I just know what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, I love having you on my channel because you'll say stuff I'm not willing to say.
Oh, trust me, I'm willing to say anything. You know why I'm willing to say anything? Because these dudes can run up on me in the street and fight me.
I know
They'll
you've
probably
got the
win. They'll win, but I'll talk my way out of it.
not necessarily. Not you still got those hands. You got the hands, you got the jits. You'd be fine. You'd be
Yeah,
fine.
I'm gonna be fine, but they know where I stay at. I'm not hard to find, and I'm just trying to spit it real. If somebody do good, I'm gonna tell you they did good. If they don't do good, I'm gonna tell you they didn't do good. I'm not here to lie to nobody.
I don't, well, you also earned the right to say stuff like that. And I don't have that kind of built-in rapport, you know. I start using words like embarrassing, Dean, and I'm not gonna have anybody
Oh,
on my
that is
side.
true. I could. All right, you good point there. That good
Be
point.
like, who's this? Who's
And
this? Who let this bitch in here? What is she doing here?
and trust me, I know embarrassing because I've had some embarrassing performances in my career too. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like. They can't
Exactly.
tell
Which
me nothing.
when you've been around the game as long as you have the right to say
Yeah.
anything is anything because you've lived it, you've done it, you fought it, you won it, you lost it.
And now I'm here talking about it.
Exactly. And that's why it is an honor to have you on this channel. And if you want to hear more, oh, make that face again. If you want to hear more of the wisdom and the hot takes of Dean Thomas, guys, there are more videos like this one. Oh, they're popping up right now. They're here. They're here. They're here on the screen, or they're going to be on the screen any second. And you click on them, you'll find more good content. Guys, we appreciate you very much. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Let us know in the comments as well what you like, what you don't like, any questions that you have. So, yeah, thank you for taking some time to listen to our thoughts, listen to Dean Thomas say some wild ass stuff.